Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take another quick look at Star Wars X-Wing Miniatures game. Now in this particular episode, I just want to briefly touch on the pilots and the upgrade cards that you'd find in the core set. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking, oh well, I know this already. Well, you veterans will probably find this episode a bit boring, but I wouldn't feel right covering the expansions without first covering the basics. And this might actually help out new players a bit that haven't even purchased the game yet. So with that said, let's just take a quick look at the pilots and the upgrade cards that come with this particular set. Alright, now keep in mind that these are not all of the components that are in the box. As I explained in my introductory video, I actually have a video tutorial of sorts in my regular board game series that I have posted on YouTube. This series is more just to sort of go over the game's bits and pieces a little bit in more detail. As far as today's episode goes, we're going to be touching on the pilots and the upgrade cards. The pilots that belong to the Rebel Alliance, you've got one X-Wing that comes with the core game. You've got 4 different pilot cards, and let me see if I can zoom in on these so you can see it. And hopefully you can. First, you've got the Luke Skywalker card. Now you'll notice that there are numbers on the left side of each of these cards. They remain standard no matter which pilot you pick. The attack value is always going to be 3, defense or agility is going to be 2, hull value is 3, and shields are going to be 2. What separates the pilots basically are their cost whenever you're setting up your initial squad, what actions they may have, and what upgrades you can attach to them. You've also got some special actions that may be listed in the description here. Now, Luke Skywalker's card, when defending, you may change one of your focus results to an evade result. That makes him really pretty valuable on defense. In most cases, X-Wings have a harder time dodging than TIE fighters do, but this particular action will give Luke Skywalker a bit of a nudge in that department. You've also got the ability to perform the focus and the target lock actions down here, and you can equip a number of different things down here, R2 units, proton torpedoes, and so on. Biggs Darklighter, other friendly ships at range 1 cannot be targeted by attacks if the attacker could target you instead. What does that mean? Well, think of Biggs Darklighter as your quote-unquote tank. If you've ever played any sort of RPG or World of Warcraft, you'll know what a tank is. Basically, it's the person that is out front soaking up the damage for the rest of the party. And that's what Biggs Darklighter does. He sort of draws fire away from the other members that are close by. So this would be a good card to use if you have some other valuable pilots like Luke nearby that you don't want destroyed. But you know, this I guess you could call him a red shirt at this point, but yeah, I mean, he obviously has some tactical advantages in a squad setting. And of course, you've got your other no-named pilots, like your rookie pilot, no special ability here. His pilot skill is the worst, it's at 2. And Red Squadron pilot, again, this is more of a no-named pilot. A little bit more expensive, but that's because the pilot skill is 4 instead of 2. Alright, now with the X-Wing pilots out of the way, let's take a quick look at the TIE Fighter pilots. Now for those of you that are new to the series or the game and don't know much about the ships in question, you're probably wondering why are there 2 TIE Fighters and only 1 X-Wing? Well, a little bit about myself here. I love the X-Wing series. I owned all of the PC games when I was a kid, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, X-Wing Alliance, and I've become intimately familiar with the ships as a result. TIE Fighters don't have shields, they can't equip any sort of astromech droid. The only thing that they really have going on for them is that they're pretty maneuverable. But I hate to use the word red shirt again, but think of your TIE Fighters as the red shirts of the Imperial Navy. They're pretty much a dime a dozen. An X-Wing on a good day could take out 2 or even 3 TIE Fighters. Now, that's not to say that these TIE Fighters are worthless. In fact, there are a lot of good pilots in this particular deck that'll give the X-Wing a run for its money. The first one I want to touch on is Night Beast. Before I do that, though, like the X-Wing, the numbers on the left-hand side are all the same, with the exception of the pilot skill. The attack is 2, agility is 3 across the board, hull 3, shield 0. And like I said, the only real thing separating the pilots are the pilot skill, the actions they can take, upgrade cards if they can even equip any, and any special actions they might have here, and of course their relative cost. Night Beast is probably one of my favorites. After executing a green maneuver, you may perform a free focus action. So as a result, I tend to keep Night Beast stress-free wherever possible, just so that I can use both like an evade action for my regular action, and then use my green maneuver to add an extra action. So I tend not to be as maneuverable with this particular character, but I make up for it by being able to equip some extra tokens on my turn. Some other ones, I've got Dark Curse here. When defending ships attacking you cannot spend focus tokens to reroll attack dice. Basically, this comes into play when you're being target locked. The target lock ability that X-Wings have will allow them to reroll attack dice whenever they are attacking you. With Dark Curse's special ability, when he's defending, that can't happen. So that's okay. I mean, I don't really make use of Dark Curse as much as I probably should, but I do favor Night Beast over him. Mauler Mythal, I think, is the best one out of all of the cards here. When attacking at range 1, roll 1 additional attack die. Now, when you're at range 1 already, you already get to roll an additional die. So I take this card as meaning that you get to roll 2 instead of 1. 2 additional attack die instead of 1, for a total of 4 instead of 3. So if you can keep this guy behind the X-Wing or any enemy ship that you're tailing at close range, they're pretty much gone. So yeah, Mauler Mythal, excellent pilot. And after that, you've got some no-named pilots here. The Obsidian Squadron pilot has a pilot skill of 3, can't equip any upgrade cards, but has a lot of actions here. This symbol, by the way, is barrel roll, in case you're wondering. Obsidian Squad pilot, Academy pilot, this is probably the worst of the lot. A pilot skill of 1, can't equip much of anything, but really cheap. Finally, you've got the Black Squadron pilot. Not too bad. Pilot skill of 4, costs 14, and can actually equip an upgrade card. Last but not least, we have the upgrade cards, and the core set comes with 5 of them. The first one is the Marksmanship card. Let's see if I can focus here. The text is rather small, so I apologize if you can't see it. But in Marksmanship, action. When attacking this round, you may change one of your focus results to a critical hit and all of your focus results to a regular hit. So basically, it's sort of like a focus action, except that you'll be able to change one of those focus into a critical instead of all regular hits. And this serves as an action, so an X-Wing that wants to use their focus or their target lock won't be able to do that if they are using this particular action after their movement phase, again assuming that they aren't stressed to begin with. So that's a pretty interesting upgrade card. You've got proton torpedoes, and in order to use this, however, the X-Wing needs to initiate a target lock. Whenever a X-Wing has a target lock, or any ship has a target lock for that matter, they are able to spend that target lock and re-roll any number of attack dice whenever they are attacking. But instead of doing that, they may use this as a secondary weapon. They can roll 4 attack dice, spend the target lock to roll 4 attack dice, and you can also change one of your focus results to a critical result. Again, you'll need to make sure that you have the appropriate symbol on the bottom of this card so that you know whether or not you can equip it. As far as these other ones here, Determination, when you are dealt a face-up damage card with the pilot trait, discard it immediately without resolving its effect. Now, this simply means that whenever you are damaged, critical hit, and you have to play a face-up damage card. Some damage cards will say Pilot right on the card. In that case, this card allows you to discard it immediately without resolving the effect. And I think I don't know the exact number, but I think it's like there are about, I want to say, a third of Pilot cards in the damage deck as a whole. So there's a 1 in 3 chance that whenever you get a critical hit and it is rolled and it is put face up, there's a 1 in 3 chance that you'll be able to make use of this ability. Though I don't really, it's only worth 1 cost here, and I tend not to choose this whenever I am playing. But that's just my personal preference. R2-D2, probably my favorite. After executing a green maneuver, you may recover 1 shield up to your shield value. This is huge. An X-Wing that has R2-D2 equipped will be able to constantly make use of green maneuvers to recharge their shields. If they can get an upgrade card in an expansion that gives them an extra shield, they can stack that with this, and they can keep maybe 3 shields up at all times as opposed to 2, depending on the circumstances. So X-Wings become a heck of a lot more durable with R2-D2 equipped as an upgrade card. You also have R2-F2. Action. This is an action, so you would use this during after your maneuver. You would get an action, you would use it then. Action, increase your agility value by 1 until the end of the game round. This isn't bad. X-Wings don't have an evade. Let me just show you that real quick. X-Wings don't have an evade action on their action bar, so this card actually does provide an extra defense die, and thus gives the X-Wing a little bit more survivability. So this is a decent option to choose if you have no other upgrade cards to choose from and you really want to equip your X-Wings with something. So there you go. This is just a very brief look at the pilots and the upgrade cards in the core set. Again, I am still learning this game, so I may not have gotten everything right. I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, leave a comment. I won't learn and I won't grow with this game unless you guys actually tell me, hey, you're doing this wrong, do it this way, this is how it's supposed to be. You actually, getting things wrong is probably the best teacher. So I, definitely would appreciate comments if you do see anything in this video series that rubs you the wrong way or just isn't right. So with that being said, be on the lookout for more videos. I have more expansions to cover. You can check out my review of this game at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com, or you can click on the link in the below description that'll take you there as well. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.